Oh! Aí, pessoal, vocês estão curtindo aí os conteúdos da Campus Party Portugal? Maravilha! Queria lembrar vocês que tem um botãozinho lá no site para doações, então quem puder doar qualquer quantia para os Médicos Sem Fronteiras são os nossos verdadeiros heróis. Aproveitar para mandar um abraço para o meu amigo Francisco Menezes, da OutSystem, que amanhã vai fazer uma palestra no Palco Global, a 1h da tarde de Portugal. Meu amigo Francisco lá da OutSystem, um grande abraço para ele. E hoje a gente vai ter aqui, nos 4 palcos aqui, nos próximos palcos a gente vai ter o Andrés Dias, vamos ter o Ricardo Rio, o presidente da Câmara de Braga, vamos ter o Andrea Rubei, da Microsoft, grande empresa parceira nossa, e vamos ter também o Bruno Moura Ferreira, embaixador português da Semana Europeia de Programação. Quero ouvir o Ricardo Rio, conhecer um pouco mais sobre Braga. Quem sabe a Campus Party aterriza aí por alguma cidade. Vamos ver, Ricardo, fica aí o convite para vocês. Então, pessoal, quem tiver interesse também em doar com o Médicos Sem Fronteiras, nossos parceiros, vai lá no site dele, tem o botão aí no nosso site, vai lá e doa para os nossos grandes heróis, que são esses médicos que estão aí na frente dessa pandemia do Covid-19, estão aí enfrentando todos os problemas e salvando as nossas vidas e as vidas dos nossos parentes, ok? Vamos lá com mais palestra, que tem muita Campus Party Portugal, hoje é só o primeiro dia, tem muita coisa vindo aí.
Hello, everyone. So I'm now on stage, and I hope you can see my presentation. My name is Andrea Rubei. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Microsoft Portugal, and I'm here to share with you what Microsoft journey is towards sustainability and some of the things that we are doing together with our customers, with our partners, and some of the insights that I would like to share with you as examples that we could all follow together. So let's start by saying that needless to say that this is a planet-sized challenge. When we're looking at the challenges that we are facing, anything from food to resources to pollution to the economy itself, it has really a wide reach that encompasses everything. And this is a call to action for every individual and every company but this is also an opportunity, not just a duty, but it's an opportunity for everyone out there to build a better world, and while doing that, really to work on some very, very interesting projects and very interesting new technologies. From our side, Microsoft is committed to do is really to look at the power of technology to help everyone everywhere to build a more sustainable future. So technology can really be at the center at the core of building a more sustainable world. And this is what I would like, some of the examples that I would like to share with you today. First of all, we probably have looked for many, many years at sustainability as a risk mitigation compliance, from a risk mitigation and compliance point of view. But the question is sustainability better for business? And can we achieve economic growth while reducing emissions and while really being very, very focused on improving our impact on the environment? And in fact, this is exactly like that, because we can see that there are incredible investments in the coming year just in energy savings opportunity, where companies and governments are going to be investing. We're looking in the US alone at $60 billion of investments. If we look at the value creation in the agricultural field, there's another 12 billion that is out there that is going to be developed as an additional opportunity. And then if we look at the various economic benefits of building smart cities, working on mobilities, etc., there's a huge and incredible opportunity for us to, for all of us, not only to benefit from the work that we are doing, but also a real business opportunity. So, and then next to that, the carbon market valuation is increasing, and this is really another opportunity that companies should be looking at. Now, our approach from a Microsoft point of view, we look at 4 different areas. The CO2 emission, the carbon footprint, this is really the area that has the biggest footprint for us, and one of the areas of larger focus. And then we look at water and water usage and consumption that is tightly related to the CO2 emission and to everything we do. And this is, again, it's a very important pillar of our initiatives. Then we look at ecosystem, which is basically where I would like to focus my attention today, and then waste management. What we do in looking at these 4 pillars, we have a specific look at what our products and services are. So the way we're actually building our services and the way we're building our products to take into consideration these 4 pillars: the impact on ecosystem, waste management, CO2 emissions, and water management. Then we look at our internal operations, and this obviously is a big impact on the way we run our data centers, the way we run our offices, and the way we really operate on a daily basis. Then we look at how we work with customers and partners, and what can we bring to our customers and partners to help them reduce the emissions and come along this journey with us. And then the last pillar, which is very, very important, is to continue to work with policymakers to make sure that we continue together along this journey to achieve the goal that we have set. And talking about goals, there have been some very bold and aggressive commitment from the Microsoft side, where basically we are looking at becoming carbon negative by 2030, which is already quite a feat in itself. But then looking at removing all of our historical carbon emission by 2050. Which means that basically by 2050, we are looking at taking out from the environment all the emissions that Microsoft has emitted from the very first day of when it was a startup. And in order to do so, Microsoft has created a 1 billion climate innovation fund that is looking exactly at investing in technologies that are currently at the initial stage that need support in order to be developed and to become commercial, and this technology will actually help us along the journey ourselves, our customers and partners to move along this journey of removing all our historical emission by 2050. So these are very bold goals that we are already focused on, and by all means, in Microsoft journey. This has started already a few years ago, where our journey to be carbon neutral, but now we realize that that is not enough. Being carbon neutral is not enough. We really have to start taking out of the environment more than we emit, and that we really need to start taking back the emissions that have been historically put by this company. In doing so, what I was saying is that we look at a planetary size challenge, and technology is at the core of it. And when we look at our entire ecosystem, we need massive scale technology, and we need to be able to get this technology available to everyone who's actually working on these challenges. And for this, we have created a program which is called AI for Earth, which I will talk about in a few minutes. And under this, under the AI for Earth program, we have just recently announced the launch and the acceleration of a planetary computer, which is basically allowing the use of big data and technology to monitor, model, and manage the natural world. So really, we are taking responsibility for our ecosystem impact in terms of committing to protect more land than we use by 2025. Now, AI for Earth, the program of AI for Earth, it really empowers people and organizations to create breakthrough innovation in the way we monitor, model, and ultimately manage the Earth's natural system. This is a call to action for everyone out there that is looking at very challenging environmental problem that can be addressed with technology. We want to work with you, and we want to put technology, as I said, at the forefront of this challenge. and to help you achieve your goals. Really, AI for Earth is at the intersection of environmental science on one side and data and computer science on the other. At the combination of these two, the AI for Earth program will basically provide technology solutions and tools to allow environmental scientists with the help of computer science to really be able to address problems that normally would not be able to be addressed with normal means. The AI for Earth program is focused on agriculture, and so looking at the way we feed a growing world population in a sustainable way. It's looking at the way we use and conserve water, and we know how important water is in terms of having and protecting fresh water supplies. And then we look at biodiversity, so monitor and protect species from going extinct. And last but not least, really looking at climate change. So in these four pillars, these four focus areas, this is the area where our AI for Earth program is looking at supporting project researches and activities that are aimed at providing a more sustainable world. Successful AI for Earth applicants or participants, they will basically identify specific environmental problem they want to address. It needs to be aligned with one of the four pillars that I just talked about. It needs obviously to leverage technology, and in particular access to data and leveraging AI technology. And then obviously there needs to be a combination of environmental science expertise and technical capability to implement project on Azure. With this combination, this becomes a very powerful tool to be able to tackle some of the most challenging world problems. The program pillars are, to increase access to cloud and AI technologies through these technology grants or Azure grants, and provide education alongside with it to increase collaboration through the community and to accelerate innovation through strategic research and partnership. Here are some examples, just for you to understand, of some very successful projects that have been running with the AI for Earth program. From land cover mapping, giving organization ways to cover mapping of specific areas in a much faster and more effective way, and to monitor and manage natural resources, all the way to farm beats, where farmers are leveraging real-time and actionable insight to increase production and maximize efficiency. This is very often a case of how they use water and how they farm in a very efficient way without wasting resources, and so on. So you can see here a lot of different very, very interesting projects that have been successful in addressing challenging environmental issues with technology, and in particular leveraging data and AI. So this was related to the ecosystem, and I really urge you to go and research more on the AI for Earth program if you are working on specific challenging projects related to the environment. If you have a startup that is moving along those lines, we are very happy to support you with the AI for Earth, to look at supporting this project with the AI for Earth program. Then the other area that I wanted to look at is the internal operations, and share with you some of the learnings. Now, these learnings are Microsoft learnings, but some of those actually apply to most of the companies of a different scale, and obviously they can take as an example to look at how we are moving along our sustainability journey. First of all, first learning is that migrating our resources to the cloud reduces vastly cloud emissions, and we'll see a little bit more about that. Second, very important pillar is funding innovation with a carbon tax. This is another very important pillar of our approach to sustainability. Then obviously having several buildings around the world, we've been focusing a lot on IoT and smart building to help us reduce consumptions and emission along the way. And then looking at different smart water approaches to reduce water usage, whether it's within our campuses or within our data centers. And then the last but not least, and this is actually very actual considering the situation we are in on every part of the world, is that remote work really accelerates carbon reduction drastically. Now, if we look at data center, we have examples of our own migrations internally, moving Microsoft cloud resources, moving Microsoft resources to the cloud. By moving over 2,000 applications from on-premise to the cloud, there has been incredible savings. The cloud is up to 98% more CO2 efficient than on-premise. And if this is valid for us, is definitely valid for every company out there, whether it has a server sitting under the desk or whether it's looking at a local server farm. The cloud is a lot more efficient in terms of CO2 emission and in terms of energy consumption. So the simple migration of resources to the cloud already has quite a big impact on that journey to sustainability. Then I was talking about the carbon tax. Now, for us, since 2019, we have been increasing the carbon tax to $15 per metric ton. So basically, every metric ton that Microsoft emits, there's a dual effect. There's an effect of funding innovation projects and programs like the one we just talked about, AI for Earth, or the purchase of renewable energy or smart building projects. On the other side is obviously it's an incentive for the businesses that are running still with emissions to actually become more and more efficient along the way. So there's a dual effect to try and accelerate reduction, and on the other side to increase the investments, our capacity to invest in sustainability projects. And so this is something that different companies of various sizes could actually consider doing. Then we are looking at smart buildings, as I said, 20% up to 20% reduction in consumption, leveraging a mix of IoT, analytics, and artificial intelligence to shift to proactive management. So basically, instead of relying too much on manual processes, we are able to analyze a huge amount of real-time transaction and reduce failures, reduce faults, and actually being able to predict those failures and those faults, and in that way become a lot more efficient in the way we run our buildings. There are examples in terms of water reduction. For example, here there's an example in the way we address, we use the water. We have water consumption in our data center in Texas, looking at reduction in water quality variability, which in turn results in decreased water use. So Microsoft is able to save more than $140,000 a year in water cost just in this single data center by leveraging a combination of IoT and data. And we're talking about here over 58 million of gallons of potable water per year saved by leveraging artificial intelligence, IoT, and data. Last but not least, as I said, remote work. We've all experienced, since in different degrees around the world, but since January, basically, we've all experienced a different degree of remote working. For us, you can see a satellite picture here in the presentation of the same period in 2019 and 2020, and it shows the different type of pollution that is on the Puget Sound area, and this is basically related to people traveling a lot less. Not only commuting to work, but also flying a lot less. If you think that flying from New York to Paris emits as much as heating as a household in Europe, for example, does in a year, or eliminating one commute per week, it nets as much carbon as planting 10 trees. So it is reconsidering the way we do work, and the way we approach remote work is actually allowing to have an incredible impact also on the environment. Obviously, with remote work a lot of other things that we need to consider come, and the way we reorganize work, not just reproducing the same kind of work that we were doing at the office at home. There are all sorts of different aspects to take in mind, but the results are quite self-explanatory in terms of the potential impact on emissions. Now, as I was saying, we look at working with customers, and we leverage our partners to work with our customers to look at the way the products are designed and to embed sustainability and the circular economy within the way the products are designed. For example, with H&M, the solutions can be really varying from different degrees. In H&M, for example, there was a big problem related to waste creation of product returns. Basically the way that H&M has actually approached the problem was to transform an issue that they have around waste management into an opportunity to actually do additional business with customers. So they have created some smart bins where basically the customers are incentivized to return old products, old apparel. And then when doing that, they're incentivized by targeted and tailored offering that they receive on smart screens on those bins. And so with that, they actually achieve two goals: the one of being able to collect and select the old apparel that has been otherwise it would be discarded, and on the other side, they are able to have an additional moment of interaction with the customer, and in that way, creating a personalized relationship as well as an additional opportunity of business for H&M itself. And this is just one of the examples. Others we have with Unilever in the Dove area, in the way they are actually producing, using water and leveraging IoT to minimize the use of water, to First Solar and the efficiency. We know that solar panels are actually one of the first things we think of when we look at renewable energy, but the production of solar panels is not necessarily sustainable per se. And so the way First Solar has also used IoT along their factory chain to increase the efficiency and reduce the emissions on their side. And then on the partner side, we work with a broad ecosystem of partners that have specific solution areas, that work on specific industries, that work on specific problems, on waste, on carbon, energy, water management, etc. And these solutions are actually out there to serve companies of any size and to help them going along the journey of sustainability. So, having said that, I would like to conclude. Maybe I'm a little bit ahead of my time, of my schedule, a few minutes, but that's okay, I get. I would like to, challenge all of you and make sure that everyone starts today, whoever is actually not on that journey yet, by understanding the current carbon footprint across the operation, the supply chain, the product life cycle, by understanding whether, if you are a startup and you are close to working in sustainability challenges, by looking at the possibility to leverage more technology, to leverage artificial intelligence, and to leverage the community to work on that. Also to look at the way you emit by considering on-prem versus cloud opportunities, and thus reduce emission, and then to work with the ecosystem of partners, which is very broad, between the startups that we work with and the ISVs and the global system integrators, to look at how we can help you accelerate along that journey. Now, we will be carbon negative by 2030. I'm hoping that everyone listening will have similar challenging goals, and that everyone listening will also help us and help this community to achieve similar goals, whether you are contributing with the technology, whether you're contributing with your work and service ideas. I hope that all of you share this goal that we need to, that sustainability is an opportunity, is not just a duty, but is an opportunity for everyone here, and is a great business opportunity also to be able to get in today for those young people that are finishing university right now and that are looking at their next career opportunity. And with that, I would like to give back the word to the host.